What base? I'm bottom base. What? That's not the base I wanted to get. Anyways, today we're playing the unfun commander. This is the commander, usually known as Moonshine. And you may say, well, Cloud, why, in your specific opinion, which is the correct opinion, is this the unfun commander? Well, you see, Moonshine doesn't have any economic buffs, doesn't have any damage buffs. His only thing that he does is shut down the enemy. And the fact about him shutting down the enemy is that it doesn't really do more damage in terms of like economic damage. It just slows them down. And how you get the active, which is how you shut down the enemy, by the way, is by getting shot. So essentially, the whole idea behind this commander is that you get shot, you stop the enemy from shooting, and then when you gain the advantage, actually start shooting the enemy, and let's say they're playing some good commander like Overdrive or something, they just press their active ability, get a shitload of resources, and then you can't do enough damage to actually like stop their cannons from building or do anything, but you can shut them down and slow them down and just be annoying. And eventually, once their cannons get firing, you can shut them down for so long that they can't do anything, and then it just rinse and repeat, and then you're 40 years old, and your children have had grandchildren, and it's over, Anyways, today I was getting my coffee. It was great. So I was like, I walked up like usual. I was like, you know, it's actually a hot day. It was a hot day in LA today. So I was like, can I have an iced latte? Normally, I go for more of the warm type of coffee. You know, the normal coffee, one could say. You know how it's supposed to be drinking. But anyways, today I go like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling special. I'm gonna go for an iced latte. And so, you know, she puts it in the computer. I'm happy. And then the computer says green tea, iced matcha latte, and I was like, excuse me, Miss Barista or Miss Worker, I think I ordered a latte. And then she's like, and then she was like, actually, this is a latte. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I guess it was an iced matcha latte. And you know, so then I was like, you know what? Fine, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know what a latte is. So, because, like, I was expecting, you know, a latte, you know, coffee beans, milk and sugar with ice in it. You know, that's generally what I think of an iced latte. That's what I think about it. So then, you know, they're making the coffee, and then it comes out green. I was just like, damn it. I was just gaslit by a barista. She literally just told me to my face. I was like, because, like, I disagreed. I was like, green tea? Green tea in my latte? Where does the green tea fit in? You know, I don't exactly remember there being tea leaves in a normal latte, but you know, I'm not exactly the coffee authority in these parts. You know, if anything, her opinion is better than mine. Maybe if she had said, you know, lasers are a good weapon, then I would have carried on disagreeing with her. But you know, if she says actually this is a latte, then I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I mean, I specifically said to her, I don't think this is a latte. Can I just have an iced latte? And she's like, no, this is an iced latte. You know, because like, I guess you can make the argument that, hey, Cloud, you know, you're the one that's stupid. In fact, a matcha latte is technically an iced latte. Yeah, but like, I didn't order that. I just ordered an iced latte, not an iced matcha latte. An iced latte. Anyways, so after getting gaslit, you know, I was in shambles. I was like, oh my god. I was just, I knew I was right, but wasn't willing to exercise me being right because, you know, I just, you know, my ego and my actual, like, in real life, if somebody disagrees with me and tells me I'm wrong, I usually just agree with them, right? I have no authority in real life. I'm just like, you know what? I'm probably the one in the wrong here. No, because I usually am. Like in most stuff, when I think I'm wrong, I am wrong. You know, if somebody tells me actually you're wrong, like I'm gonna believe them. Like, come on. And there's so many smart people in this world, and you know, generally when it comes to who's the smart guy in the room, I'm pretty low on the list. I'm not exactly up there. Or I guess maybe that says something about the people I hang out with too. Anyways, so after that, you know, I was in shambles, and so you know, that was my coffee experience. But something else crazy happened there. So I was in school, and you know, it's some of my last days of school. So I did my biology final yesterday, as I was a senior. And my teacher jokingly told me yesterday, "Do you want to just do your biology final?" And I was like, "Sure." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So now I've already finished that. And so today, it was a completely free day. I was like, you know, can I just leave the class and go talk to a different teacher? And my biology teacher was like, sure. Because, like, I don't want to be with the freshmen. If I can leave the bio freshman, like, that's a huge win. So I go over to my apes teacher, very W teacher, and then we start talking because, you know, it's the end of the year. We're both a little bit emotional. You know, one of her favorite students, me, by the way, me, you know, I think I can fit into that category, is leaving. So she starts telling me about her college experience and how back when she was in college, she just played video games a lot. And I was like, oh my god, you play video games? You know, relatable, bro. You know, with more, you know, generally like, you know, more respectful. You know, I'm talking to a teacher here, and she's like, yeah, I played StarCraft. And I was like, oh my god, is my apes teacher starting to talk about RTS video games? I was like, oh my god, you played StarCraft back in like 1990s. You know, I played a very I play myself another RTS game. You know, that was also popular during the time, Age of Empires. She's like, oh my god. Well, that's crazy. Anyways, so I continued the conversation with her about that. She's like, I played a lot. In fact, she played enough that she competed in a local video game tournament, and she won. I was just stunned. I was like, oh my god. My apes teacher is a professional, or not a professional, but a pro RTS gamer, and I didn't know this. I didn't know. It was like I was just in shock. You know, because, like, you know, it is a girl, you know, and generally, I don't associate, you know, if a girl tells me that they're playing video games, I'm thinking usually Valorant, right? As generally that is, like, the only one I've ever heard, really, other than maybe, like, Candy Crush and all the other mobile stuff, but, you know, if that is generally what I think about. And so when I was walking, I was like, oh my god, this is such a shame, because, like, I had her for a whole year last year, and I never learned this. Like, that would have been so interesting. My teacher is an OG RTS gamer. She's more OG than me. Like, I was still like shitting in my pants when she was like winning StarCraft tournaments. I mean, that is just how far behind her I am. Like, that is just it was crazy. So today I learned that as well as not only did I get bamboozled by a barista, but I also learned that, in fact, one of my favorite teachers was a pro StarCraft player, and oh my god, oh my god, poor guy, he has no minds. This, I would almost feel bad if not the fact that if I didn't kill all those mines, I would never be able to kill them, because I'm pretty sure they're overdrive. So if his mines were still alive, it would take me another 30 years to kill him. I mean, it's already taken me a hot minute, but it would take me even longer to kill him if the mines weren't dead. Anyways. Let's EMP everything, EMP the core, make sure he has actually no metal production. And if he presses the repair button, he's uber screwed, because then he's never going to be able to get the money back to replace one of the mines he lost. So, yeah, I think that guy is a little bit cooked, you know, a little bit hard-boiled, a little bit gone past the grave. Anything else? Oh, yeah, actually, I remember I didn't upload yesterday, so actually there's more from that biology teacher. Yesterday, I also skipped, or not my apes teacher. Yesterday, I also skipped biology and went over to my apes teacher. Because, you know, I had finished the final on that day, and I was like, can I just hang out with this other teacher after I finish the final? My biology teacher, which was like, sure. So I was hanging out. And then that day, we had a so-called virtual assembly. Now, you may think, oh my god, what is that? Do you guys all hop on a Zoom call? No, we watch a YouTube video. So we're all sitting there in class, or I wasn't sitting there in class. I was getting the special treatment. Anyways, I was there, talking with my apes teacher, and then this is before the assembly, by the way. And so she was watching the assembly before, like, it actually came out, just, you know, because she was interested. And she's like, Luca, or I guess that's my first name. And for translation to YouTube brain rot, Cloud, come over here, take a look at this. And then she showed me the video, and she's like, this used to be an academic assembly. We used to have a full-on, non-virtual assembly for the valedictorians, for them to tell their life stories and how they achieved success. And now, the ASB kids, for those who don't know, ASB stands for Associated Student Body. Essentially, a bunch of people just go there, and then they run the student government, or otherwise known as the free labor for the school administration. Anyways, so the Associated Student Body produces this video, right? And you know, she goes from a whole ass assembly dedicated to the valedictorians and success in academics. We have a 13-minute video, a whole 13-minute video, of which 2 minutes go to the valedictorians. They get to say their names. They record it at home. And keep in mind, they're not even getting recorded in like a school facility. No, they record it themselves at home. They say their names. They say essentially, "Thank you to my parents," and then they get cut off. And then the rest of the 13 minutes, well, can I not drag this? Is it too late? Okay, I think that's too late. The rest of the 13 minutes is dedicated to quite literally just sports and activities. And she goes, this is a shame. Back in the good old times, we used to respect academics. But now after the ASB kids run it, you know what the ASB kids are part of? They're not part of the AP classes. No, of course not. They are part of the sports and activities. They're part of the the classes where, it's not exactly your GPA that counts for anything. No. It's how hot you are. It's how much charisma you have, how much riz you produce, how much aura you exude. So she was this is something like, this is like a gripe that I think like is super, like, this is a gripe that I would have, right? If I had known that this assembly used to be somewhat academic, I would have totally gone back in my day, back in the good old days. In fact, we had a whole ass 2 minutes dedicated to valedictorians. Not even like now there's just a list of names. In 30 years that's going to be me, if I get to work with my high school, which would actually not be a bad idea. Working at my high school, my high school basically, like, half the teachers there graduated from my high school, and and it's so free because the teachers at my high school get paid criminal amounts. Like, it's like usually teachers are like unionizing and complaining about like being poor and stuff. No. At my school, it's the opposite. My teachers have never held a strike. My teachers have never held like a protest or anything, because my school is the final destination for teachers. Once you get into my school, you've already won. You've already won. Like, our administration is super selective about the teachers they take, because the property taxes in my California district are so freaking much that, the school budget is paid directly by property taxes. Since the property value just keeps going and going up, they just have a shitload of money. And so, like, I forgot what my point was behind. Oh, right. So, generally, if you're a teacher at my school, you're freaking stacked. And it's the final destination, which is also, like, it creates wrongful incentives. It's like going to college, right? In high school, you work a shitload. And then after you're in college, you're like, oh, I'm in the place I went to came here for. I don't have to work anymore. That was for high school. In fact, college, screw you. I'm going to be lazy and play video games in my room all day. And I think that's a similar sentiment at my school, because like after teachers come to my school, they're done. That their life's work is in fact complete. They never even have to. They don't have to do anything anymore. They can just sit there, collect their government secured paychecks, and they're done. They can't get a better job at another school. They don't have to improve anymore. They've completed life, and it's a little bit odd, because like notice like the older teachers there, they don't grade the papers anymore. Like I'm telling you, like half of the if I see a teacher at my school that's like over like, I don't know, 50, maybe getting late 50s, early 60s, most of the time, start of the year I'll turn in some like fully completed work, and then I'll slowly stop doing the work. I'll see what I can get, test the waters a little bit. And some of them, they don't check at all. They're like, there's some text here. Can I read this? Yes, okay, it's somewhat in relation to bio, 100%. In fact, you get extra credit for this work because it's just so exemplar. Because you know what they didn't do? They didn't read it. They don't read it. Like, they don't have to. They don't need the administrative recommendations. They're unionized. They can't get fired. They're done. They're always going to get guaranteed one of the highest paying jobs for teachers in California, and it's cooked, and my school district's so that is my school district. Anyways, so I mean maybe that's why I'm saying that I may actually work there. I'll be like, you know what? In fact, I graduated from the school as a decent person. I in fact graduated top 100 out of 800 people in my class. I think I'm deserving a spot. I think I put my hours in. I'm definitely not here to coast as I am doing with most things. Can I even shoot this guy? What is happening? What is that? Why? Please. I need more angle on this. Give me more angle. I need these guys to be angled upwards. Okay, and that's GG. Anyways, that was Moonshine. Yeah, nothing really happened. I'm gonna be honest. Like, they couldn't really shoot back the whole time because they were just EMP'd. It's kind of lame. So I hope you enjoyed the lane game. That's why there was so much yapping, is because with Moonshine, nothing ever happens. This is the nothing ever happens game. and this is the Nothing Ever Happens video. Anyways, hope you enjoyed me yapping about my biology, or not biology, apes teacher mainly.